Brothers and sisters, saints and sinners, it's your favorite Rasta sister Nikolae, and let me tell you, we're working now. We ain't on the camel back or sitting on the beaches, Your government is working.
The reason why we had to take those trips, and I want to say it here, it was around the time of the UN. There's only one time in the year when you can meet almost all the countries in one setting, and that is at the UN. That is an opportunity that cannot be missed. As a new government coming in, our new administration, we had to make sure that we made those connections because we would have lost a whole year to make those connections. So when we traveled, we didn't travel to be on camelback and on the beach in dark shades. We traveled to work.
It's another episode of What the Frayko? We are now midway into October, and the new cabinet held its first press conference, and by PM Joe let out some things.
We cannot accept that. And that is why we are saying we have to create real opportunities and a program that makes sense and a program that will enhance the continued advancement of St. Kitts and Nevis. Can you imagine somebody on that program gets injured from some of the work they're doing, and there's no social security for them? Is that even legal? So nobody cares about the young men. If something happened to any of them, nothing for their children. And we have to make sure that those dark holes where money disappeared can't be found, that those are blocked.
The press conference was for ministers apparently, but they tell the press for whom they call the press conference that they could only ask 2 questions per round. Then they tell them, it's only 1 round, you look at me walk here. While you're here enjoying the content, a sub to the channel would be like giving us life juice in bloodlines. In health news, the hemodialysis unit was out of bloodlines for the machine. PM Joe says he's looking into revamping and improving healthcare, starting with the purchase of the MRI machine. But Jennifer again, Lord, somebody posted on social media that the sister need dialysis treatment and it's only 1 machine because no bloodlines and the next. It's a couple people needing dialysis treatment and they have to be rotated on 1 machine. Anyway, Dr. Drew spoke of the remedy to the situation.
This is my 2nd visit since I've been in office to see what's happening here at the dialysis unit. There was a mishap, I would call it, a challenge in getting the bloodlines for the dialysis machines. And so I think the staff quickly had to improvise and make sure that they deal with the situation, and they had to change up the shift in which people are given dialysis. And I want to thank them for being innovative with respect to dealing with the challenge. We have been able to get in the bloodlines, which are the lines that are important to work the dialysis machine. In simple terms, the blood comes out, goes to the machine, and then comes back in. That line that we are talking about, that we call a bloodline, is what allows the blood to go out and come back to the machine and come back in.
Speaking of hospital and health, an irate parent this week said they got a call that the child at Parkson Hospital, what happened? The teacher said that the child get 2 lashes. 1, 2. And for the Spanish folks, 1, 2. What we call corporal punishment. Come to find out this 2 thumb the child get and an x-ray and the shoulder dislocated. The father made his post too, saying that the child say he tell another child, stick it up. In asthmatic news, a child in school started having an attack. The teacher used another's child pump to calm the attack. No, that's not the correct way, but imagine a child in front of you taking in, as we just say. You acted in the moment. The parent of the child who had the attack sent back the pump and said they ain't want to use pump on Facebook. Lord, we don't pray no more. Everything is Facebook now. A discussion could have been had with the parents. Jeez. In lighter news, Carnival definitely coming. There was a press conference to talk about some of the things to look out for. Following that, DFX and Ultra released their themes. Fun Vibes released the looks of the costume and Naughty Mask too. We're about to colour up Bastille soon. And as we colour up tongue, let's skip over to the whiteness we talked about last week. 5 people get charged, but Customs and Police charged Desu McFarlane and Roland Olivier of Grenada, and Peter Scotland, Salim Ali, and Michael Jack of Trinidad and Tobago. Continuing in the police warn-up, they got their work cut out for them, in investigating a house fire that apparently stemmed from a domestic dispute again. 2 weeks in a row. Apparently, the guy threatened the woman all the time. Told her he would kill her unless social services take care of the 2 toddlers. The police found him in the bathroom and her in the living room burned. They said they have to do DNA testing. In iconic news, veteran Broadcast Freedom FM's Juni Liburd was awarded the Star of Merit this year. Check his reaction as Curtis Martin read and presented a plaque.
All sides to present their views to the public, providing opportunities for volunteer groups to promote their causes, promoting businesses, especially the aims and aspirations of small businesses and their leaders, providing a social platform where young people can build their careers and break new grounds on earning a name and place for themselves in a carefully branded management fashion. When you say broadcasting, our people have come to expect that it is synonymous with Freedom FM 106.5, a trusted name built by Mr. Clement Juni Liburd and his hard-working team through tested trials and unexpected challenges. Through it all, Freedom has reigned with dignity, pride, and sheer admiration of our populace.
I wasn't expecting this. I do my work, I go about what I do diligently, and I don't look for rewards or accolades or anything like that. And so, thank you.
Easy, my brother.
Thank you, Curtis.
You've made your footprints, and we appreciate you. Okay.
God bless you, man.
Today's a day we lift Juni.
Yeah, man.
We have lifted many others. Today's your day to be lifted.
In news from Nevis, remember the relinquishing of the crown? A new queen has been named. Shamarley Newton is now the new queen of Miss Culture. There was a sashing and crowning ceremony this past week. In Iron Plane news, it's a joke. At least that's what one person is saying. No, while it isn't directly related to St. Kitts and Nevis, we know of late and their travel woes in the region. Now, Antigua has decided to launch their own airline. The same Antigua that could barely sustain Leat and its workers in that country. Let's hear this take on it from soon-to-be Dr. Dennis McCall, an air transport management specialist and native of the Federation.
No, some people have been asking me why I think this is a joke, right? This is a key, ha 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 type of joke, because clearly the aviation industry is a circus. Clearly, it's a circus. So we got bored, right? We can go through three simple reasons why this is a joke together. So hold on. So problem number 1, why are we looking out instead of looking in when we have some problems in that we need to fix in order for outside to work? Let's look at this analogy. Let's say, for example, we got a pool, right? This is pool. Yeah, this is pool, right? The pool has a hole right here, right? So water coming out. We're ignoring that. We're ignoring the hole. But yet we're thinking, oh, let me add a nice step to go in my pool. Let me add some floaties. I know what's gonna happen. This is still a problem. It's still leaking. So if we have a problem with aviation within the region, why is it we don't fix this problem rather than adding all of these additional things such as international flights? international connectivity to the Caribbean is not a problem. You know where the problem lies? Right here. This leakage here. This regional connectivity. So we need to fix that first problem before we can look at the international space. Problem 2, yeah? We do not have a proper hub and spoke system within the Caribbean to take all of the persons coming from Nigeria to Antigua. So my question is, are they just going to stay in Antigua? Where else are persons going to travel to? So what is a hub and spoke? This is Antigua here, right? So ANU is the hub, okay? That's the hub. So the spokes now would be these different parts here. So let's say, for example, St. Kitts, Dominica, British Virgin Islands, St. Martin. We don't have one of those in the Caribbean. How we traveling from Antigua to British Virgin Islands, and we could only do so probably like once a week or twice a week? Bro, we don't have a proper system that links us to other small islands coming from this main hub, which is Antigua. Problem number 3. I'm looking at the sustainability of this thing, right? So the aircraft in the picture that's being advertised is a Boeing 767, right? This holds up to 269 passengers. So are you telling me that every single time this flight operates, we're going to have 269 persons coming down from Lagos and 269 persons going up from Antigua? What's going to happen to these empty seats? Who exactly subsidizing all of these different things, right? How often is this flight going to operate? Is it going to operate once per month? If it's once per month, then okay, it could work. Is it going to be twice weekly? Like, how exactly is it going to work in terms of using that big aircraft going all the way over there? I'm also looking at it from an environmental standpoint. With the Boeing 767, let's look at noise pollution. Let's look at also the impact that would have on the atmosphere around Antigua and Barbuda. Aviation each country cannot operate aviation in silos. It needs to be a collective effort, and that is what these governments, that is what these other stakeholders are not understanding. Coming in from Antigua, going into Antigua, right? That's 269, some stay in Antigua, and then you got the rest going on to Barbados. And then you got the rest going over into BVI. Then maybe you got the rest going on into St. Lucia. Or the rest of them even going on into St. Vincent. And then from St. Vincent, they even branch out into the different Grenadines from there. But because of this lack of a proper hub and spoke system, bro,
we got to wrap up with some good stuff. And the SKN Robotics team is doing really well in Geneva at the first global challenge. Congrats on your win so far, team. Now, if you're still here, it got to be liking this shit, you know. For real, for real. We appreciate you viewing, liking, commenting, and sharing our videos. Don't forget to subscribe too. So, brothers and sisters, saints and sinners, we'll be back next week. And thanks for staying. I am your host, your favorite Rasta, Sister Nikolae. And I thank you. Toodle!